Have you ever stopped to think that while most people are out there searching for diamonds in all the wrong places, some folks are letting termites and ants do all the hard work for them? It might sound crazy, but what if I told you these tiny insects can actually give you real clues about where to find precious stones, like diamonds, rubies, and even gold? That's right. And the best part is, you won't need to dig deep or spend a fortune on fancy equipment. So in today's video, you're going to find out how some of the most valuable gemstones on Earth were uncovered not by machines, but by entire colonies of insects digging through the ground beneath our feet. And believe it or not, in countries like Australia, this has become a common practice. Before you think it's an exaggeration, just know that million-dollar deposits have already been discovered using this exact method, an ancient wisdom passed down for generations by people who knew how to read nature's signs. So stick with me until the end, because today you're going to learn how to interpret the language of ants to figure out if your own backyard might be hiding diamonds or other precious metals by observing insect behavior in ways even many geologists don't fully understand. That is unbelievable. But how could ants and termites possibly know where to find precious minerals like gold and diamonds to understand how this all works? The first thing you need to know is how diamonds actually make their way to the Earth's surface, basically. Diamonds are formed deep within the Earth's mantle, in places where the pressure and temperature are so extreme that carbon crystallizes into diamond. But forming isn't enough for you to find one. It has to be transported closer to the surface, and that only happens through a rare type of volcanic eruption that releases a special kind of lava called Kimberlite. This material shoots upward with such force that it drags diamonds along with it over time. This Kimberlite lava cools down, hardens into solid rock, and slowly gets buried under layers of soil sediment and vegetation. In many cases, it becomes completely hidden, and that's where the magic begins. Every mound of dirt built by these tiny engineers provides a perfect sample of what's hidden below, allowing for chemical tests on the material they bring up to the surface. In Australia, scientists from the Commonwealth Scientific and Industrial Research Organisation conducted a series of studies to see if termites could actually reveal the presence of gold or deeper mineral deposits. They analysed dozens of termite mounds in dry, remote regions of the country, and what they found was truly remarkable. The mounds contained small but detectable traces of gold, copper, nickel, and even fragments of kimberlite. The rock most commonly associated with diamonds. Termites build their nests using soil particles from underground layers, often reaching depths of more than 6 ft. And because they do this every day, for years, they end up depositing tiny samples of those deeper layers right in front of us. Based on these findings, scientists realized that the mounds created by ants and termites work as natural core samples from deep underground, bringing up fragments of buried minerals from several feet below. In tests conducted across Australia, scientists discovered concentrations of gold and fragments of kimberlite in what seemed like ordinary termite mounds, clear indicators of rich underground veins filled with precious minerals. Even more surprising was the discovery that the bodies of the insects themselves carry the chemical signature of the minerals found in the soil. This happens because metals like gold, nickel, and copper accumulate in the insects' excretory systems, forming micro-ruptures similar to kidney stones that break through open the door to large-scale chemical testing, not just on the mounds, but on the insects themselves. When elevated levels of certain minerals are found inside ants or termites, it greatly increases the chances that a deposit is hidden just beneath the surface. These findings drew so much attention that they reached Australia's top research institutions. One of the most significant projects was led by Aaron Stewart from the Commonwealth Scientific and Industrial Research Organisation, who focused on developing new techniques for mineral prospecting. According to him, my research is really about finding new mineral resources in Australia. The problem is that we've got 150 years of exploration, and most of the easy-to-find resources have been found. So what we need is new tools to find these resources, and there's plenty there. And we need to be able to find them in a cost-efficient way. So my research is using termites. and ants, other insects to get below a surface layer of transported material, which is hiding future mineral resources. That's when geologists realized they didn't need to drill dozens of feet into the ground. Instead, they could simply collect samples from termite or ant mounds, run a lab analysis, and determine whether that location was worth exploring further. This kind of discovery completely changed the game when it comes to mineral prospecting. What used to take weeks of random drilling can now start with a simple analysis of a mound built by insects, and this technique has proven promising not just for finding diamonds, but also for detecting gold, copper, platinum, nickel, uranium, and even rare elements used in modern technology. In other words, after more than a century and a half of intense mineral exploration, traditional methods are becoming increasingly expensive and less effective. That's why researchers like Stuart have started using ants and termites as unexpected allies, because they naturally reach deep layers of soil without anyone noticing, while you're focused on what's on the surface. These insects have already dug several feet underground, and over time built mounds containing rock particles that came straight from the depths below. This allows scientists to map the mineral composition of an area with far more precision and dramatically reduce the cost of exploratory drilling. But the most fascinating part, this knowledge isn't exactly new. Long before modern science began studying this phenomenon, African communities were already using ants and termites to locate gold and other mineral deposits. Historical records show that tribes in regions like the Sahel in southern Africa had a long-standing tradition of watching insect behavior to decide where to dig. They noticed that areas with darker soil or firmer, denser mounds had a higher chance of hiding something valuable through close observation. Of nature, these communities learned that older, well-structured mounds often held important mineral clues. It was as if nature had drawn a hidden map for those who knew how to read its signs. Today, with the help of modern science, we've been able to confirm what these ancient peoples already knew. Termites and ants don't just react to their environment, they reveal it. They reshape the soil around them, and without even realizing it, leave behind precious clues about what lies underground. In fact, this method has already started to gain traction in countries like the United States, Brazil, South Africa, and Indonesia. In many of these places, researchers are now conducting systematic collections of termite mound material for lab analysis. And this brings us to a surprising conclusion. Ant and termite colonies might just be the best natural geologists we've ever had. Based on these studies, scientists began using modern technology to analyze the soil brought to the surface by insects. When these samples are subjected to chemical testing, it's possible to detect traces of metals like gold, copper, nickel, and even elements associated with kimberlite, the rock that can contain diamonds in some cases. Termite mounds showed gold concentrations, far higher than the surrounding soil, pointing to the presence of hidden mineral veins just beneath the surface. This was only possible because the termites, by digging deep into the ground, brought up fragments of these buried rocks, creating natural, cost-free samples from the lower layers. Researchers also examined the bodies of the insects themselves. They discovered that heavy metals tend to accumulate in the digestive and excretory systems of ants and termites, and are gradually eliminated. Over time, these metal residues end up mixing with the soil around the mounds, serving as yet another indicator of valuable minerals below, and even without professional equipment. This technique can be adapted by ordinary people in regions with a known history of gemstone occurrences. Collecting a small sample of soil from an anthill or termite mound and analyzing its density, color, and visible mineral content can already reveal important clues about what lies underground. And as we're about to see, this can also point directly to the presence of diamonds. When it comes to diamonds, the clues are a bit more specific. They're usually found alongside rocks like kimberlite or lamprite, both of which were formed by ancient volcanic eruptions. These rocks often carry what geologists call indicator minerals, which signal the possible presence of diamonds even if they're not visible to the naked eye. And this is where insects come back into the picture. When ants and termites build their mounds in areas where kimberlite pipes are buried underground, they end up bringing pieces of these rocks to the surface, along with minerals like ilmenite, garnet, pyroxene, and spinel. These are the famous indicator minerals. Some of them are easy to spot, even in their raw form. Garnets can appear in reddish or orange hues. Ilmenite has a dark metallic shine. Being able to recognize these signs can make all the difference even without high-end tools. Experienced geologists and prospectors use this method to map areas with diamond potential. They examine insect mounds near ancient geological formations. And when they find indicator minerals, they start more detailed investigations. In many cases, this has led to the discovery of kimberlite pipes containing real diamonds. And here's the best part. This technique can even be used on ordinary land, including right here in the United States. States like Colorado, Wyoming, and Montana have favorable geology in other countries like South Africa, Russia, and Brazil. This insect-based approach is also gaining more and more attention. The real game changer here is that you don't need to be a geologist or invest in expensive equipment to start looking for signs of diamonds and valuable minerals. With a little knowledge and attention to detail, anyone can take the first steps. And it all begins by paying attention to what most people completely overlook. If you own land, live in a rural area, or even just enjoy hiking through trails and natural landscapes, it's worth taking a closer look at termite and ant mounds. These structures can often hold clues about what lies beneath your feet, including minerals that could be worth a lot of money. Now, of course, not every mountain is going to be hiding a diamond, but the goal here is to learn how to identify the right signs. Things like indicator minerals, soil type, the density of the samples, and even the geographic location all matter. And when those elements start to line up, your chances of being near a valuable deposit go way up. And here's an important tip. Never throw away any unusual rock you find in or around an anthill or termite mound. If it feels unusually heavy, has a strange metallic shine, or displays an unusual color like deep red, dark green, or bluish black, keep it. It might be exactly the kind of mineral that signals the presence of a kimberlite pipe or some other formation rich in precious stones. But before you go rushing off to the nearest anthill, there's one last thing you need to know. A lot of people out there do manage to find valuable clues in the soil, but because they don't know how to properly identify the type of mineral or the quality of the rock, they end up selling for pennies what could actually be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. And unfortunately, there are buyers who take advantage of that, paying way less than a fair price. That's exactly why I created the ebook Gemology Journey for Beginners. A straightforward guide made for those just starting out with simple explanations and practical tests you can do right at home. You'll learn how to test for hardness, density, light refraction, and how to identify the most common minerals using accessible methods without needing professional equipment. With this knowledge, you'll feel more confident knowing what you have in your hands before showing it to any buyer. It protects you from falling for scams and gives you the chance to build a real collection, or even keep a stone as a long-term investment. And if your focus is collecting, the ebook also comes with an exclusive collector's chart featuring the main visual traits, density, and rarity of dozens of minerals, perfect for anyone serious about growing in this journey. Right now, the regular price of the ebook is $29.90, but the first 10 buyers get a 50% discount and can grab the lifetime version for just $14.95. And the best part, you get a full 7-day guarantee to check out the content. And if it's not for you, just ask for a refund, no questions asked. So if you want to take advantage of this opportunity, just click the link in the description. Now, if you're just getting started, or prefer to learn for free, for now, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and keep watching the videos. Right here in the next episode, you'll find out how to identify precious stones that might be hiding in the riverbeds near your area. Thanks for liking and subscribing. Good luck out there, gem hunter.